Hello everyone, my name is the 3D Sandwich, and this is an update to my previous video, a guide on how to use FGA to farm lottery events for Fake Grand Order. So I've already been using FGA for more than a couple lottery events, so it pretty much works for me, and I'm just gonna share how I use some of those advanced features of Fake Grand Automata. Well, I've already shared on how to use those basic features in my previous video, and people ask a lot of questions about, how to troubleshoot, or this doesn't work as expected, or how to use the other thing. And basically, the dev team, including the core dev team, and like I contribute sometimes, we cannot test on every single phone. So if anything happens on your phone, well, you have two choices. One, make sure that you have more than 2 gigs of RAM, or 3, because FGO itself requires 2 gigs. You want to run something on top of that, you need more. And make sure that you have the latest release. For me, I just prefer using the debug version, the debug version, because if it's the debug version, then it's basically like the latest version that you can personally test and check out the code and tweak them so that it fits your needs. If not, well, at least check out the latest release. And if that doesn't work out, personally, I use Android Studio. I just install Android Studio on my PC or on my Mac, works either way. Use the Android emulator on it. It works for me. So it works for me. Okay, it works for me. So it works for me for free without without needing to buy like a high-end Android phone. Anyways, also you may use Knox, because apparently you can there's a option that allows you to use Knox. So Knox should be supported on some releases, I think. Personally, I don't use it, I just use Android emulator. There's that. Anyway, this video will be serving as an update to the previous version that I introduced, because after that, between those few weeks, we have worked on a lot of new features, and I have sort of watched how it has evolved and tried my best to understand those new features, so I may know a little bit more than you do. And well, if that's something you're interested, well, let's just get into it, I guess. So first, there is a troubleshooting link. What does this do? Well, when you click on it, it will just take you to the freaking troubleshooting link. Before you do anything, read the troubleshooting link. Also, for JP, if you're on JP, just know that the UI is basically rewritten, or like everything's out of place. So we're not supporting it for now, because we're still working on it. Well, not me, but the devs are working on it. So yeah, read that and make sure you're testing the latest release. Make sure you follow all the instructions. If not, Android Studio emulator. This model is Pixel 2 API 30. It works for me. And second, let's go into refill. So before, there's only refills and using any sort of resources, different quartz, or I call them apples. I don't know if you guys call them apples or not, because in Taiwan we call them apples. And you can set up repetition, that's the same. And I'm not sure if this auto decrement was on the earlier releases, but now it tracks how many apples you have used, and whenever it stops, it subtracts the number of apples used, so that the repetition number right here is the total number that you will repeat. You will use apples. The total number of apples you will use. I'm not a native speaker, so pardon my English. All right. Secondly, what is run limit? It limits the number of runs. Say you want to have 5 runs, but then say some node costs 40 AP, so you might have to fill up 2 times 2 apples, but then you only want to run 5 times, so you don't want to use up the rest of those AP bars. set it here, and it will run only for 5 times. Third, now FGA tracks the number of materials that are dropped. It takes a screenshot when, like in the drop list, and then it counts how many materials are dropped. Materials meaning different, like just material, not event materials. It's like actual material. Let's say you want to have like I don't know, you want to keep it going until you get like 50 dust. How do you do 50 dust? Limit by materials, and then you go to battle configs, whichever one, and then you go materials, and you go voice dust. So after this is set up, I think it will track until you got 50 dusts. I think I haven't tried it myself personally, but that's how it's probably supposed to work. All right, now that we are in battle configs, there are some updates and something that I have not talked about in my previous video. So first, battle configs card priority. So this is the place you set out how FGA wants to use different set of cards, command cards. That's the same, but they actually added experimental features where you might want to choose whether you want to rearrange cards or whether you want to do brave chains. So, FGA is an app where it automatically clicks on MPs, right? So after an MP, you might or might not want to have a brave chain after it because if the animation for brave chain is too long, you don't want to trigger that because you already know your MP is gonna overkill it anyways. You can actually use avoid so that even though, let's say, weak quick card, weak buster, weak arts are actually have got a higher priority, it will not be chosen because it's the same servant. All right, because it is the same servant, it avoids the brave chain. Also, if you think the damage is not enough, you may want to prefer to actually have a brave chain after an MP. So like maybe you want to rearrange cards. So let's say weak quick card is your highest priority card, and usually it will be put in the first slot because it's the highest priority, right? So it will be selected first. But sometimes when you put a card at last, the effects will be more, right? You get more stars, you hit harder, you get more MP. That's where rearrange cards comes into play. So it actually rearranged the top 3 priority or like top something priority and like just move the higher priority ones to the back. So it's like the effect will be like more. All right. So that is experimental features. And then for support, when you select preferred selection mode, that's probably the one you want to use. I don't know if anyone actually used like the other two, but I personally use preferred. And I say, let's say I want to have a preferred servant as Scotty. And then after some number of times of checking, I still cannot get the preferred servant I want. Let's say, I don't know, if you really, really like to have a preferred servant of, I don't know, Matahari, like nobody puts it on, even though some people may like have a level 100 max gold foes over in their second archive or something. I don't know. I don't hate Matahari. I actually have her at like level 60 and almost full skills, so no hate on her. But anyway, let's say you really want to have her and nobody on your friend list actually puts her on. Then it might go back to this fallback selection mode. So first or manual. First means it would pick the first thing, the first servant on the support list, regardless of whichever servant it is. Or it will actually stop and prompt you to select a support servant. That is manual. So there's that. And then we have spam. I think that's a pretty new thing. So you might want to choose auto choose target. It will actually scan and see if it's a servant or a danger enemy. So it's like, there's those higher HP stuff. Usually they're danger. Usually they're labeled danger. Usually they're labeled servants. You might want to auto choose them and like attack them first. I think that's how it works. And you might want to spam MP, just keep using MP. So if you use spam, if you click on spam, with this, it's supposed to just click on MP1, servant 1's MP, servant 2's MP, servant 3's MP, then go into command card scanning and like clicking on it. So MPs will actually be used. Also, you might use danger, but for danger mode, while it only spams MP, while it only has this like this spammy MP thing in danger, but it requires auto targeting. Just don't turn off auto targeting and expect danger MP spam to work. Just don't. Okay, don't do that, or do it, but don't ask us why it doesn't work. Okay. Skill spam does not click on every single skill every single time. Let's get that clear. So how it works is that it scans the skill icon and check if it's off cooldown, if its cooldown is like done. So it will not work if your servant dies. If your servant dies, then the skill icon will be different, right? The skill icon will be, when the skill icon is different, then image matching will not work. So you cannot spam skill that way. So make sure that your servants are alive, or supposedly alive. I don't know. I don't know how you're gonna utilize that, but we leave that knowledge to you, and you make your best judgment. Personally, I just use MP, and my 3-turn kill setup just kills him in 3 turns, and it worked for me in this Christmas lottery on NA. As a Taiwan player, I used the earlier version of FGA, and I can like use the lottery thing perfectly fine. So none of those stuff is actually needed for you. Just to make that clear. All right. Anyway, shuffle cards. If you have your shuffle card mystic code, I don't know how it's called in English in NA, but it's the mystic code that allows you to shuffle cards. You can choose which wave you want to shuffle cards, 1, 2, 3, and then choose when you want to shuffle cards. If there is no effective cards, if there's no effective cards, then it will shuffle cards if you click on this one. If there are no cards matching MP, let's say your main attacker is the one you want to the one you slap all the buffs on, and only that servant's card can kill the last boss. So you want to make sure that you want to have at least one cards for that. Well, then no cards matching MP is probably the option you want. Yeah. All right, shuffle cards. Now, I already covered troubleshooting, and next one. Wait for. All right, so more options. Stop on C drop, stop on C get are 2 options where FGA will stop and prompt you about stuff that happens during the battle. Pretty self-explanatory, right? I hope so. Read the descriptions, read GitHub. I should make a GitHub like tutorial. Anyway, later day. All right, so sometimes you might actually want to just type out the skill command, because you already know which kind of skills you know how to do. You know how to script FGA. Just turn it on so you can just have that thing. The option is here. Don't assume it's gone. We actually kept it here. Just toggle that. Make your best judgment. Also, this one. Actually, I wrote this function. So sometimes you don't want to use your apples, but you want to want FGA to keep iterating over and over again to keep check whether AP is regenerated over time. So what this does is that it keeps FGA running instead of stopping when you run out of AP. And it keeps checking and checking until AP is enough for you to run a new node. So I usually leave this on overnight. So, overnight when you're actually sleeping, but you don't want to use apples, you just use this and wait for AP regeneration to take effect, and well, it just does its thing. It has a lower priority than AP refills. So if you have refills like using apples or using say quartz, it will refill first before waiting for regeneration. All right. And you can test it out yourself. It doesn't really break anything. It just keeps it running. So, it just keeps it running for like, just keep it charged, keep your phone charged. Or use Android emulator, Android Studio's Android emulator, just saying. And Giftbox script is one of the new additions. So what it does is, when after you're like lottery drawing, you're like clicking through all those boxes and like opening all those boxes, and you have a whole bunch of embers, and you just don't know what to do with them, or you know what to do with them. You're gonna sell them. You're gonna take them in, sell them, and then keep clicking because your gift box is always full. This is what will help you. So what it does is that it uses image recognition to check how many gold embers are in a stack, are in one gift, and it will select all the silver embers because we are very opinionated towards not using silver embers. We just take all those silver embers and we sell them. So live with that. And also the amount of gold embers. So let's say 2 means everything below 2 gold embers per stack will be selected, and then you will just have to, and then you can just accept them, sell them all away, so that in the end you will be left with, let's say, stacks of gold embers that are only 4 or above. All right, once you open up all those like lottery boxes, you know what to do. You will know what to do. Deal with it. Yeah. Yep. Okay. I think that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all. And then fine tunes means, well, they are pretty self-explanatory because, well, if you read English, I guess. If you're on another language, we're actually working on other language support. But if you're watching this video, then you probably already know what those stuff are. So basically, if you have a slower phone, then you might want to add some duration, like increase some duration, so that you don't FGA doesn't start clicking before it loads. That. All right. Anyway, I've spent enough time. So, yeah. If you have any questions, go on GitHub, read stuff. If you want to have a 101 on how to use GitHub, because I started as a GitHub noob, so I'm just gonna use my words, just describe it as best as I can. So if you go onto the GitHub page right now, you will see a code tab, an issues tab, pull request tab, and some other tabs. Issues tab is where you can find issues and find people asking different sort of questions, bug reports, or enhancement suggestions. If you have any enhancement idea, you might want to ask for an enhancement and see if we want to work on it or not. But before you ask, just please, there is a button right next to filters. It allows you to search for previous questions and previous answers. Make sure you search on that. And just generally be respectful, because nobody is making any money doing this. I'm not paid. I'm not even on NA. So if you NA people ask me if I'm gonna steal your accounts, no, I have no interest in that. But if you want to give me your account, welcome. Anyway, yeah, just make sure you search before you ask and follow templates. And that's pretty much it. Yeah. I don't know. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, everyone. There's no lottery events for us. in Taiwan. So you NA people and you JP people, have fun. Also, like we're they're working on JP UI update. So if you think you can come and help, and or if you want to help with translations, that's one of the bigger things. I personally just finished Taiwan translations, and anyone from Taiwan, anyone on Taiwan's server, I don't know, just hey, hi, you guys can come and help or something. So yeah, that's pretty much what I got. All right, everyone. I hope you enjoy the holidays. And last one. So if you want to go change storage folders, you do it in this in this option. So like you go Fate Grand Automata and then you click on use this folder and you allow it to use it. So you can use just for the support image, drop image, all those stuff. Also, lastly, friends. FGA does not use text recognition. So anything text recognition related, don't ask. We don't know how to deal with that. Okay? We don't know, and we nobody knows how to deal with that. Okay, maybe the core devs know, but we don't. I don't. I have no idea how to deal with that. So anything that might seem to be friends or might seem to be image recognized, they're all done by matching images. So if you're in the support image maker script, you will navigate to your friend list and then press start. Afterwards, it will actually take a screenshot, crop out the respective name, like the name part of of your friend, the name image part, and then it will use that to match different friends. All right. And also the same is for like servants. It would actually take a picture of the servant icon, use that to match. It would take a picture of the CE icon, use that to match images. And that's how it's used. So that this folder is where it is stored. So yeah, just keep that in mind. And if you have any questions, I think I will have to make another video on like how to use support image maker, but that's for another video. If you guys are really interested and really want to share some stuff, comment, or you may make your own video, because it's a community. We're trying to build a community. We're trying to build a supportive community where everybody can contribute. Hey, it's an open source project. We're here to help. Everybody should be here to help, and we're just like, yeah, just be nice to people and like help. Yeah. Anyway, bye.